Okay, so we're going to do a time sequence where two waves are going to come together and they are going to interfere with each other. So here's our input waves. Here's wave 1, kind of a funny shaped wave, and then wave 2. We'll say that each one of these waves moves at 1 space per second. All right, and we want to know what this looks like at 2, 3, and 4 while the waves are interfering with one another. 2, 3, and 4 seconds. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is I like to just mark off some important points, like where is my middle. So in this case, this is my neutral position on each side. And then find like a middle point or a midpoint that I'm going to measure against. So I'm just going to mark that off on each one, because we're gonna measure where these waves are in relation to the central point on each of these. Okay. Usually you want to do that with pencil because you want to erase it later. So to represent pencil, I'll just use like a dark gray color. So the things I'd want to do in pencil. All right. So 2 seconds later, what does this look like? Well, we're going to redraw this, and we're going to redraw the overlap of these two waves lightly in pencil, figure out what the new wave looks like, and then darken it in after. Okay, so 1, 2, the front of that wave should be right here. Use an even darker gray. Should be right here. Then we know it goes up 2, over 1, over 2, down 4, over 1, and up 2. So it should look like this. Okay, and then this one is moved this way by 2. So 1, 2, its front should be right here. Down 2, over 3. Up 1, there's a little stair step in it. Okay, so what the area we're interested in is this area right in here. All right, so I know outside that area, everything is going to be exactly the same as it was. There's going to be no change except right in here. So I can already kind of go ahead and darken that stuff in because I know it's going to remain unchanged. All right. So now we get into a tricky part. Okay, so there's maybe some confusion here. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page here with this. This picture here is at 0 seconds, okay? This is at 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and 4 seconds. So they move 2 spaces because we're talking 2 seconds after this happened, okay? So that's why. We're not talking 1 second later, because 1 second later is not very interesting. They haven't really begun to interfere yet at that point, right? They only start interfering after 2 seconds. All right, so here is the way that I like to think about these things. When I have an angle, if I'm lucky enough to have a flat part under the angle, I know that anything that's here is going to be decreased by 2, right? This little, it's like it's falling in a pit. As these waves move towards each other, you can think of this guy as it passes over here as falling into a pit. That might be helpful. So this fell into a pit. Everything above the pit would be reduced by 2 points or 2 places. So really, it's more or less just saying, okay, this corner now is going to be reduced by 2. This is going to be reduced by 2, this by 2, and this by 2. So what you end up with then, when you sort that all out, is you get this thing has dropped by 2 when it's over that section. So you get a super weird looking combination of the waves. But then you can erase out your guidelines and just sort of see what you get at the end. It should be something that looks about like that. Okay, so let's go on to 3 seconds. So we'll get the gray pencil out here, and we'll say 3 seconds means that this is now 1, 2, 3, so it's 2 over from the middle. So we'll start to draw it in, up 2, over 1, over 2, but down 4, over, and up. So something like that. Okay, and then this one, 1, 2, 3, it's now 2 over from the middle. All right, so it's down 2 over 3, 1, 2, 3, up 1 over 1, up and over. All right, so now we're basically completely overlapping here. I wonder if I should draw this one with slightly darker color so we can see where it is. All right, so what's going to happen here is we'll put in our unaffected regions so we know where we're working from. So nothing there will change, but now we're completely overlapped. So we've got a -1 here and a +2. So we know a -1 and a +2 is going to give us a 1. And then we know anything over this part is going to be knocked down by 2 points, right? It's going to be dropped by 2. So this corner here goes down by 2. It goes over 2, but it goes down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's down over here now. We go over 2, and we go back up here. And we connect all our breakpoints like that. I feel like this is a little bit crooked. Better. And then we erase our guidelines. Okay, so this one's kind of tough. You know, if this is our middle point here, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 past the middle point. So it'll be here, here, over 2, down 4, so down here, over 1, up 2 for that guy. We'll use a slightly different color for this one. This one is now 1, 2, 3, 4 over here. So its front is here, so it goes down 2. It goes over 3. I'm going to use an even darker color. 1, 2, 3. Goes up 1, over 1, up 1, and then through. All right. So right here, I'm just going to actually try to draw this a little more clearly here, because the angle here is a little bit tricky. So we need actually something that looks like this. Okay, so nothing here is affected. We can go ahead and we can put in our line here. We know that nothing is happening over here. And we also know that nothing's happening over here, so we can put this in here, like that. Where things start to get interesting, or when this line interacts with this part right here. So the first thing we note is that this is moved down by 2 in this column, right? So let's move that down by 2 in this column, and kind of just slowly work our way across here. So we go down 2. We go over 2. Okay. Now I look at this little piece of triangle, like right here. This guy is resting over something that is moving it down by 1. Okay, by 1 spot. So I have to take this whole angled line and move it down by 1 spot. Okay. And the original line followed here. So it went down to this point, but now that part right there has been moved down. So let's get rid of what is gone. And then we'll just connect the dots that are remaining. And we'll be done. So that must go straight up to there, and this must go straight up to there.